Welcome to Reflect with Ed Fassio. Get ready to experience one of the world's first 100% digitally generated podcasts, where we take a step back, dive deep, and strive to learn new things. Join us as we unpack thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections, and inspiring stories to help you stay in the know. Reflect is brought to you by the minds at ByteBrain and powered by emerging technologies from Google, HeyGen, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. Thanks for tuning in. Now, relax and prepare to reflect.
Welcome to Reflect, one of the world's first 100% AI-generated podcasts. Today, we're diving deep into the world of coffee.
Coffee.
You know, it's more than just a morning pick-me-up.
Right.
You guys gave us a ton of research and articles, so we're going way beyond, latte art and all that.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking ancient origins, crazy facts, historical impacts, even a coffee-loving cat.
I actually think crazy is an understatement.
Oh.
Did you know coffee beans are older than people?
Wait, seriously?
Like older than modern humans? I mean, that's a long freaking history.
So they were just hanging out, waiting for us to evolve.
Basically, yeah.
That's wild.
600,000 years just chilling.
Wow.
And Homo sapiens have only been around, what, like 300,000 years?
Oh my God.
So coffee's got like a 300,000-year head start on us.
Mind blown. Officially mind blown.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that explains why it's taking over the world.
Right.
Speaking of world domination, did you see that thing about coffee beans being used as money?
Oh, yeah.
In Ethiopia in the 1600s?
Uh-huh.
Like actual currency?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's insane.
Yeah.
It really shows you how important it was even way back then.
It wasn't just a drink. It was like an economic force.
Man, I wish I could still pay for my lattes with beans.
Right.
Cut out the middleman.
Maybe we should start a petition.
Uh-huh. Bean bucks?
There you go.
Okay, but let's move on from my fantasy bean-based economy.
Okay.
And talk about some of the, shall we say, more interesting ways coffee is made.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Kopi Luwak?
Oh, yeah. That's the, most expensive coffee in the world.
Yeah.
You know the one where, a civet eats the coffee cherries, poops out the beans,
Wait, what?
and then people collect them and make coffee?
You're kidding.
I know it's a thing.
It's a real thing.
Believe it or not.
I mean, I believe it because I read it, but who
Yeah.
thought of that?
Right. But hey, it's supposed to taste amazing.
Is it?
Super smooth and unique because of the whole, digestion thing.
I don't know if I'm brave enough to try that.
Yeah, I think I'll pass too.
Okay, let's move on to something slightly less processed.
Okay.
Did you know that coffee has been banned in some parts of the world?
Oh, yeah, like in Mecca in the 1500s.
Really?
Yeah, they thought coffee houses were breeding grounds for radical thinkers.
Oh.
They were afraid people would get all caffeinated and start questioning authority.
So they were scared of a coffee-fueled revolution.
Pretty much.
That's kind of paranoid.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it wasn't just Mecca, right?
Oh, no.
In England in the 1600s, didn't some women try to ban it?
Yeah, they said it was making their husbands lazy.
Oh, come on. Blaming coffee for their husband's laziness, that's a new one.
I know, right? Some things never change.
Seriously. But thankfully, those bans didn't stick around.
Right.
Coffee lovers unite.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Speaking of which, did you see that story about the Brazilian Olympic team back in 1932?
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't afford to get to the Olympics.
The LA Olympics.
So they loaded up their ship with coffee and sold it along the way to make money.
Pretty resourceful, huh?
Talk about hustling. It just shows you how important coffee has been in global trade.
For sure. It's not just a drink, it's a commodity.
Totally.
Okay.
So we've covered ancient origins,
Uh-huh.
coffee currency,
Check.
and even poop coffee.
Yeah, I can't forget that.
Still can't get over that one. What else have we got?
Well, get this. There's a connection between coffee and the world's oldest cat.
What?
This cat, Creme Puff, lived to be 38 years old.
38?
And you know what? She drank coffee every day.
No way. Are you serious?
Seriously? Is that the secret to a long life?
Ugh.
I'm about to start mainlining espresso.
Whoa, hold on. It's just one cat. We're not saying coffee makes you live forever.
I know.
But it's still a pretty fun fact, right?
It is. I'm picturing this cat sipping a tiny cappuccino every morning.
Haha, totally.
Okay, moving on to something a little more techie.
Okay.
Did you know that the world's first webcam was invented at Cambridge University? And it was invented to monitor a coffee pot.
Yep.
They wanted to see if the coffee was ready without leaving their desks.
No way.
Talk about dedication.
That's amazing. It's hey, world-changing technology, sure. But first, coffee.
Priorities, right.
Seriously. But speaking of coffee's impact, beyond just like the caffeine buzz, did you read about those English coffee houses in the 1600s? They call them penny universities.
Oh, yeah, penny universities. I love that.
What was that all about?
Well, basically, they were hubs for intellectual discussion.
Okay.
You could buy a cup of coffee for a penny
That's a good deal.
and then just hang out and talk about philosophy, politics, art, whatever.
So like coffee fueled the Enlightenment.
Kind of, yeah. They were like the social media of their time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about how coffee has been a part of everything.
I know, right?
From ancient economies to like scientific breakthroughs to even helping a cat live to be 38.
It's pretty wild.
What a journey this has been.
And we're not even done yet.
Okay, before we get into the next round of coffee craziness, let's take a moment to let all this sink in.
It's a good idea.
We'll be right back with more fascinating insights into the world of coffee. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a flash. Welcome back to the deep dive. Before we took a little coffee break,
Yeah.
we were talking about those coffee houses being like centers for discussion and stuff.
Yeah, like those penny universities.
Exactly, but it's not just about ideas, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whole coffee culture thing is fascinating.
Totally. It's a whole experience.
Right.
Like in Ethiopia, they have this whole elaborate coffee ceremony thing
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
where they like roast the beans right there in front of you,
Yeah.
grind them by hand,
We-
brew it in a clay pot.
It's a social gathering.
It is. Sharing stories, connecting with people. It's so cool.
And in Turkey, coffee is like super important too.
Yeah.
They brew it really strong and unfiltered in this special pot called a sherbet.
Asheze.
And get this, they tell fortunes by reading the coffee grounds.
Wait, what? Like reading tea leaves, but with coffee.
Exactly.
That's wild.
I know, right?
It's amazing how a simple cup of coffee can have all these like deep cultural roots.
Totally. Each sip is like connecting you to centuries of history.
I know. It makes me think about my own like little morning coffee routine.
Yeah.
It's not as fancy as an Ethiopian coffee ceremony or anything,
Of course.
but it's still my ritual, Gets me going.
I get it. And that's what's so cool about coffee. That it can be like a personal thing,
Right?
but also this shared social experience
Yeah.
connecting us across cultures, generations. It's like a universal language.
Totally. Okay, so we talked about the rituals, but let's get back to those coffee houses for a second.
Okay.
You were saying how they were important for spreading ideas and social movements.
Right.
Like, how did that actually work?
Well, think about it back in the 1600s and 1700s.
Yeah?
Coffee houses were one of the few places where people from all walks of life
Oh.
could just hang out and talk.
Yeah.
Could share news, debate, politics, even plan revolutions.
So they were like the original social media.
Exactly. A place to connect and exchange ideas.
It's crazy that governments tried to ban coffee because they were scared of that.
I know they knew how powerful those gatherings could be.
And they were right. Coffee fueled some serious change. Who knew a cup of joe could have such a huge impact on history?
It's mind-blowing. It shows you the power of conversation and a shared space.
Right.
Who knows, maybe today's coffee shops will spark the next big revolution.
God, I hope so. I love that idea. Every time I sip my latte, I'll be like, yeah, this is revolutionary fuel.
Uh-huh. That's the spirit.
But seriously, it's amazing how coffee has shaped the world and still brings people together.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've covered so much today.
I know, right?
Ancient origins, poop coffee, still can't get over that one.
Me neither.
Social revolutions, cat longevity coffee is officially the most fascinating drink on the planet.
Agreed. And the best part is there's still so much more to explore.
Right.
The world of coffee is vast and constantly evolving.
Okay, before we get too carried away with coffee's awesomeness,
Okay.
I gotta ask, what about the future? What's next for our beloved bean juice?
Ooh, that's a great question. Honestly, I think the future of coffee is looking pretty damn bright.
Really?
Yeah, like we're seeing more focus on specialty coffee.
Yeah.
People are getting really into like unique flavors and ethical sourcing and stuff.
That's awesome. It's like even better tasting coffee. That's good for the planet.
Exactly. And I think technology is going to play a big role too.
So yeah.
Yeah, like crazy new brewing methods, personalized coffee experiences tailored to your taste buds.
Whoa. Hold up. Personalized coffee. What does that even mean?
Like imagine a coffee robot barista that knows exactly how you like your coffee.
Shut up. No way. A robot barista. That's next level.
I know, right?
I can see the headlines now. Coffee robots take over the world.
Uh-huh, exactly. But hey, if they make a damn good cup of coffee, who am I to judge?
Right. Okay. I think we've officially reached peak coffee nerd levels here.
Maybe just a little.
But you know what? I'm not even mad. This deep dive has been incredible.
I agree. It's amazing what you can learn when you really dive into something.
Totally. We think we know coffee, but there's a whole universe hidden inside that little bean.
It really is, and a delicious universe at that.
Wow. We've really gone deep on coffee, haven't we?
Seriously. From ancient Ethiopia to robot baristas, it's insane how much impact this one drink has had.
I know, right? Like it's this little bean with a secret superpower.
Totally brings people together, fuels ideas, economies, helps cats live to be 38. Who knew?
I'm telling you, we should all be bowing down to the coffee bean.
Haha.
But for real, this deep dive has changed how I see coffee.
Me too.
It's not just a drink, it's like a story, a culture, a connection to history and everything.
Absolutely. And the best part is that the story's still going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Every day, someone somewhere is finding a new way to grow, brew, or experience coffee.
It's like we've only just scratched the surface.
Exactly. There's a whole universe of coffee out there.
And they're all a part of it.
Every cup we drink, every conversation we have over coffee.
Yeah.
We're adding to that story.
I love that it makes you really appreciate every sip.
It does, doesn't it?
Knowing you're part of something bigger.
Totally. So next time you have a cup of coffee,
Okay.
take a moment to think about it.
Yeah.
Think about its journey from bean to cup. The people who grew it, roasted it, brewed it,
Right.
all the connections and conversations coffee has sparked.
Wow, well said. I think we've reached peak coffee enlightenment.
Maybe we have.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
It's been fun.
It really has. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep brewing up amazing conversations over a delicious cup of coffee. Cheers.